feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
Really quickly. Yo, chat, man. So Spotify has removed notable streaming volume from tracks across genres for the third month in a row. February, March, and April, they have done this. I don't even think they make the announcement. Let's see if we can see it. Spotify removes data. Let's see. We're trying to see. Spotify fake remove fake streams. Okay. All right. So it says the main narrative. Okay. Spotify, the world leading music streaming service, and represents all the best and the worst things about the music industry today to a T. One thing they seem to be committed to fixing, though, is the prevalence of fake streams and stream botting on the platform. According to chart data, the company removed notable streaming volume from songs across genres for the third month in a row, a consistent practice they began in this February. Now that we're in April, fans have more questions about who this is really about, okay? All right, so this is what they said. February, March, and April, they've removed it. By the way, they did, I think, put out a statement saying that, if artists, are caught doing this, they'll do certain things to remediate it. And of course, at a certain point, they'll try to punish the artist. Okay. Now, who are these motherfuckers who are faking streams? Could we talk about it, chat? Could we talk about it? Now, if you ask me, I think there are a few players that you're going to see consistently that are faking streams like a motherfucker. And I'm going to say something that I think most of y'all will understand, though. Fake streams are easy to identify. If right now, I don't want to throw nobody on the bus, but I will. If YK Osiris dropped a song, and in, say, 4 months, it had 100 million streams on Spotify, but nobody knows a lyric from the song. There's not a bunch of people dancing to it on TikTok. There's no conversation around it. It'd be clear, like, you're faking your streams. And this is why, remember when I was talking to that guy who claimed he did some fake streams for Kendrick? Nobody wanted to believe him because people, this is why like programming works. Number one, I think Not Like Us is a phenomenal song. I think it's a hit song. I think it works. Nobody wants to believe that even the songs that work get botted too. It's not only unsuccessful artists trying to work the numbers, it's also successful songs and successful artists saying, yo, put it like this. The equivalent is like, I was talking to someone. They were convincing me. They were trying to convince me. They said, because I was telling them, I said, these days I'm like hot and cold on wearing my jewelry. I only wear my jewelry to make statements these days. I don't really wear it all the time anymore. But there was a time I did. And they were saying, well, are you going to get some new stuff? And I'm like, no, for what? Because I don't wear it that much. There was a phase that I was kind of wearing it a lot. Now I pick and choose when I wear it. And if I was to wear it now, I feel like I have enough. And I don't want to follow the new trends of, I got Cuban links. They're like, no, you got to get the infinity. No. I'm not going to go spend another $100,000 for that. No, I'm good. So the person started to say to me, they said, well, bro, this is your problem. You don't have to get a real chain. You're Akademiks. Nobody on earth thinks you're broke. Just get the fake shit. And it reminded me of when I was at the jeweler, and it was so interesting. I was getting the stuff made, and it was like, this is this place in Miami, and this one jeweler said, yo, he shows me a Richard Mille, and all he keeps saying, that Meek Mill lyric always was in my head. It's like, Richard Mille costs a Lambo, which is like at least $250,000, right? But the jeweler shows me a Richard Mille. It's iced out. And he said, yo, bro, this right here, this is $40,000. He's like, this Richard Mille's fake. He's like, yo, he was kind of like trying to lightly sell it to me. He's like, yo, you know, if somebody like you buy it, nobody's going to question it. They think you already got money. Just as long as you're not posting, this is exactly what he said. As long as you're not just posting pictures of the Richard Mille by itself. If it's with you on an outfit, cool. Just don't post a picture of it like, yo, look at my Richard Mille, and nobody will ever question it. I tell that story because that is what streaming is like. Yo, the dudes who shouldn't get hundreds of millions of streams, when they do, when they start botting, it's mad obvious. I remember French Montana was caught up in some shit before. They were just like, yo, bro, we know your streaming data. We know how many fans usually check for you. What the fuck is this? Soulja Boy got caught with doing some shit, but it was early on as like YouTube land. Niggas was like, yo, bro, you bought the views, you didn't buy the comments. Nigga had like 3 million views, 80 comments. It was like, yo, bro, you got to buy the comments too. You know what I mean? What's really hard to tell is when niggas actually seem like they deserve the numbers that you're seeing, and they're not saying, let's bot it by a factor of 3 or 4, which means 3 or 4 times where it's at now. They're just saying, we did 200 million views organically, bot 50 or 75. That's the thing. That's we already think you rich. So if you did do some fake shit, nobody cares. So I remember people were like so resistant to believe that that person that came on my stream could have been telling the truth, because people said, bro, how could Kendrick have botted this shit? When I go outside, I hear it. By the way, when I go outside, I hear it too, chat. Y'all are right. That has nothing to do with the song being botted, or if it wasn't. Now, Spotify, again, they haven't released names, but you can only guess. I see a lot of conversation online about who was being affected by this. By the way, Russ jumped in and he says, yo, Spotify's removing stream counts from big artists who are faking their streams but won't release the names of the said artists. Laughing my ass off, y'all. The artists and the labels doing this are losers. Drake likes it. Now, these are unconfirmed. I see some people say Kendrick. They said Kendrick lost monthly listeners. Went from 110 to 98. After they purged the bots. Do y'all remember when they purged Instagram follower bots and they violated Mace? Mace, I love you, bro. Don't get mad. Yo, Mace lost 1.5 million followers when they deleted all the bots. That shit was crazy. This is back in the day, though. This is old Mace. Anyway. I don't know if this is all the way true. I see people reporting it. By the way, you know, my team did look into it. They went with this number that he dropped to 98 million. Now, again, that might not be, and I want to give Kendrick some benefit of the doubt, because I don't want to do the anti-Kendrick shit. I have several contacts at Spotify. Now, granted, this is pretty proprietary. They might be like, Ack, we'll tell you some other shit, but we ain't telling you about this. Because then they know Ack might be liable to get on here and be like, here are the 5 biggest botters in terms of artists. But I'm going to try to figure out who the biggest botters are. Okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to, I'm going off what I've heard industry-wise, okay? And I hope you believe me, but you might not, because it might not fit your narrative. I've always heard that Drake's Drake streams are off the muscle. He doesn't do the hieroglyphics. If he played some of the games that the labels would want him to play, they would bot his stream to make him seem even bigger than he seems now. By the way, I do think it's one of the reasons why we see Drake's numbers consistently hovering around 400, 500,000 with a solo project, and we haven't seen the million anymore. Because back when he was doing the million, CD sales were a thing, and there was a finesse for CDs. I think they're just letting that boy do his thing. So the word I've heard, Drake don't do none of that. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna lie to you. And, I ain't trying to get on no Kanye shit. You know what they told me? They say Drake cheap. What does that mean? It's not necessarily cheap. They're just saying that Drake doesn't allocate, or his team doesn't allocate budget to try to rig sales, to try to rig streaming data. He doesn't. That's what I've heard. Let's talk about Kendrick. I'm going to be honest with y'all, chat. I've heard Kendrick isn't that either until recently. I heard, this is a story told to me, could be wrong. They said Kendrick wasn't into botting until him and his team thought the only way Drake could be that big, Drake had to be botting, so they start botting. It's like saying, ain't no way this nigga that smart, he got to be cheating, so you start cheating too. You know what I'm saying? Or you're in baseball and be like, ain't no way this motherfucker is doing all this without some steroids. Let me go get the steroids too. Okay? So from what I want to be honest with y'all. For what I've heard about Kendrick, he's an off-the-muscle artist too, but they started spicing up songs during the battle and they've continued after. Now, nothing crazy. Like, a crazy thing would be like you're giving it 2 to 3 times what the real streams are. Nothing crazy. I'm hearing like 10 to 15% scaled over time. Okay? Which means, let's say you see a Kendrick song, I don't know, say Squabble Up. Like, I don't know, you want let's, again, I'm going off of just what I'm hearing. Let's go to, what should we type in? Kendrick. Yeah, let's go to Kendrick, right? All right, Squabble Up. Squabble Up at 325 million. Now, granted, I think this is the actual number because I think Spotify deleted a bunch of fake streams, which some people claim Kendrick was part of it. But let's say 400 million. Well, I guess I can't, because we already seen the corrected shit. Okay, let's say this was the inflated numbers. If the inflated numbers was 325, it would be like 50, 60 million, or maybe like 70. But they're not botting. Like, this is what I've heard about. Like, Kendrick ain't botting like half of his streams. He's botting about what's industry standard, a 10 to 15% fluff. And you do it in a scaled way to make the record look like it's taken off early on. And when more and more people get brainwashed because of that to listen to the record, you scale down the bottom and real people pick up the heavy lifting. That's what I've heard. Now, I don't want to center this just around Kendrick because I know Drake fans want to do that. There's a lot of botters in the game. There's a lot of botters in the game. The big artists, and again, let me just take it off of Kendrick. The big artists in the game, okay? If they're going to indulge in botting, it's going to be between 10 to 30%. They're not doing more than that, okay? They're not doing more than that. Now, do I think Spotify should let us know who's doing this? Yes. I don't think Drake. No, I don't think Kendrick. Not Kendrick. I don't think Cardi. I don't think Cardi bots. It don't make no sense. But you never know. Yo, chat, you really never know, bro. But I don't think he bots at all. I don't think he bots at all. Ironically, supposedly Drake was the #1 streamed artist in the month of March. So if you're wondering, the most streamed artist on Spotify, and I don't know if this is minus the bots, but Drake narrowly beat out Kendrick Lamar. He beat out Cardi, Travis Scott, Future. Ye still up there. Got Eminem, Tyler, the Creator. We have Doechii. Wow. Am I a hater if I'm like, I haven't fully committed to the Doechii wave yet, but the numbers are telling me that it's lit. I'm always a little curious when the numbers are telling me something that my soul and my heart ain't telling me yet. But she does seem talented though, and I am rooting for her. We got Wayne, Juice WRLD, Savage, Baby, Don Toliver. Damn, Savage is out streaming Baby, and Baby just dropped an album? Wow. You know, I talked to Savage the other night, right? So I told him, I said, man, you need a drop. Y'all need a Savage album right now? This is what we need. Savage need a drop. We got Don Toliver, Doja Cat, Nicki Minaj, X, Rocky, and Cole. Okay. Now, I don't want to make this Kendrick is the bot guy. Okay? Just to explain, when I say K-bots, I'm usually referring to this ideology that I believe Kendrick fans spew out like literally robots. They have no nuanced thinking. They repeat talking points. They talk, and the talking points come from not like us. Now, has Kendrick did a little 1-2 finessing? Probably, but I'm not going to chastise him for doing that because he ain't the first and he won't be the last. So that's not really why I say K-bots. The K-bots to me are the people who lack nuanced thinking that just speak in song lyrics from their favorite diss song. That's it. All right. Did y'all see so there's a new angle. Oh my God, chat. There's a new angle of the Say So P murder and Sauce